Hello, welcome to the next episode of Music for Kids. If you like this video, please subscribe. This is our hashtag, and we love music. This one is about how do you choose your first instrument? Very hard, very important question, and let's look at three very popular ones. The first one is the recorder. I have it here. Now, in many schools, what they do, they start to teach you some sheet music, usually very complicated, and you get a soprano recorder. Um, you all heard the sound of it, right? From schools. I think there are some pros and cons to this instrument. Of course, as you know, it's very cheap. So it's an easy start. It's not a big investment if you fear that the kids might not really be into music. At the same time, when kids play it, it doesn't really sound in tune. It can be a bit of tune because they push too much air into it. At the same time, if you actually start to enjoy it, you can get some beautiful sounds out of it. So beyond the classics, you can start to play it to the side. So, creativity can open up in the kids if they spend enough time on the recorder. But this takes time, and the fingerings are a bit complicated. It's not just like the next finger down, you have to leave some empty spaces. So I'm not sure if it's a really wise choice other than its cost. The second one, which is very popular, of course, is the piano, right? Now, I think the great thing with the piano, sorry, the great thing with the piano is that it just never sounds wrong. I'm not even looking, pressing any buttons. It can sound like a nice contemporary piece. And even if you're really not into learning sheet music first, just by following simple rules as with your left hand, press some buttons that are one step apart. It just sounds perfect. With your right hand, do anything slowly. This is complete random, and it sounded right. And I think this system that you get here is just so nice and stable that it opens up for creativity in the kids. So I think if you can afford it, it's a fantastic investment, especially the digital pianos, because you can turn the volume down and you can play to the headphone. Now, the downside is, of course, that it's a really heavy instrument in a sense that you can't really move it and take it to your friend's place, take it with you to meet others. It's you just have to go where the pianos are, which is fun at home. But as playing music becomes more social, it can be a downside. Which of course takes me to the most popular instrument of all time, the guitar. We have one here. Now the guitar is the good thing is that once you tune it or somebody tunes it for you, it is in tune. It will sound alright. You don't get all the challenges that you get with the recorder or the violin. That's the worst in this regard. Then there are some relatively easy first steps to this instrument where you can just learn strumming, sing along. You can get to blues very fast, like I did when I was very small. And of course, as things go by, you can do a lot of more things on it with the body. You can take it with you glide. You can play bass lines. And a few years later, you buy a pick and you can start to solo. And a lot of musical styles sound great on the guitar. It can even get percussive, as I said. Now, the first few weeks might be frustrating. There are lots of strings on this instrument, and you have to press them, your fingers will hurt, so it is a much harder thing to start than the piano, but in return, it will become much more mobile. You can take it where you are, your music playing can become much more social. So I think these are my initial learnings, but I think the most important is that if you find anything you love, you actually will be fine because you can learn the rest really easily. Once you get the hang of making music, one instrument is really just like the other. You just spend a little time getting used to it. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you will pick up some instruments to play music with. Bye bye.